Laura Ries, The 22 Immutable Laws of Branding, How to Build a Product or Service into a World-Class Brand. Welcome to the captivating world of branding as laid out in The 22 Immutable Laws of Branding by Laura Ries. In this book summary, you will journey through the essential laws that guide companies in creating strong, world-class brands. Understand the importance of maintaining focus on your brand's core identity and learn how successful companies like Subway and Walmart carved a niche for themselves in a fiercely competitive market. This summary will also enlighten you about the crucial role of publicity and advertising in establishing and maintaining a brand's dominance, and the power of owning a word association that your competitors cannot replicate. Let's delve into these vital principles and learn how they make or break a brand's image.
The 3 Laws of Branding. This summary explores the 3 laws of branding and how they apply to famous brands such as Chevrolet, Subway, Prego, Rolex, and Walmart. Have you ever wondered why some brands become household names while others remain obscure? In The 22 Immutable Laws of Branding, Laura Ries and Laura Ries explore the mysteries of branding and offer powerful insights into the strategies that make a brand successful. The first law of branding is the law of expansion. This law states that a brand becomes weaker as it expands and loses focus. Chevrolet is an excellent example of the law of expansion. By producing a wide range of products from small and affordable cars to large and luxurious ones, Chevrolet has diluted the strength of its brand. This strategy may have increased short-term sales, but in the long run, it weakened the brand name, leading to a significant drop in sales. The law of contraction is the second law of branding. It states that a company's brand grows stronger when it narrows its focus. Subway is a perfect example of the law of contraction. Instead of offering a wide range of products like traditional delis, Subway had a singular focus on submarine sandwiches. This approach was a savvy move that led to phenomenal success, with the brand becoming a household name in the United States. The third law of branding is the law of singularity. Strong branding makes product names synonymous with an everyday object or idea. Brands like Prego and Rolex are excellent examples of the law of singularity. If a brand's core identity is strong enough, even brands like Walmart that sell a dizzying array of products can distinguish themselves. Walmart still has a singular focus on low prices, and every product on its shelves embodies this ethos. In conclusion, the 3 laws of branding, namely the law of expansion, the law of contraction, and the law of singularity, demonstrate the critical strategies that make successful branding. Companies that focus on these laws and commit to their core identity can make their brand synonymous with everyday objects, leading to phenomenal success. Laws of branding. Advertising can maintain brand visibility, but publicity is essential for building a brand. Successful brands thrive on the law of publicity, which requires being the first to offer unique products or services. Once a brand is established, advertising's role is to defend it. The law of advertising emphasizes that it's crucial to position the brand as the best in its category. The art of branding is not only limited to advertising, which has been the long-time assumption of many marketers. In The 22 Immutable Laws of Branding, Laura Ries and Laura Ries discuss the essential laws of branding beyond advertising. The fourth law, the law of publicity, is vital for building a brand. Most successful brands have succeeded because they were the first to offer something unique, which has created significant publicity, thus maintaining their success. The law of publicity emphasizes the importance of creating a buzz around your brand, which arises from being the first in the market. The consequence of stepping into markets filled with similar products is a recipe for failure, as seen in the case of Miller Brewing. The company spent over $50 million in advertising but failed to create any buzz around the Miller regular brand. It disappeared from the market just over a year after launch. Once the brand has been established, advertising's role is to defend its position in the market, which is the fifth law, the law of advertising. Successful companies position their brands as the best in their respective categories, instead of emphasizing superiority over their rivals. Budweiser is marketed as the king of beers, while Goodyear is #1 in tires. The authors emphasize the importance of understanding these laws to create a brand that is not only successful but sustainable over time. Therefore, the art of branding requires focusing on the law of publicity, followed by the law of advertising, to create a well-rounded and successful brand. Law of branding. Successful branding involves owning a word association that defines the essence of your brand. This means achieving a leadership position and promoting the category as a whole, even if it helps your rivals. By doing so, the brand expands the market category, and competition actually creates more business opportunities. The power of brand perception. A brand's success is defined not just by quality but also by perception and credentials. A brand can achieve authenticity by developing its credentials and staking a claim on leadership. For instance, Asahi Beer's marketing strategy positions the company as Japan's #1 beer. Customers tend to associate crowded restaurants with quality food and, in turn, are more likely to give a popular restaurant the benefit of the doubt. A brand that is perceived to represent quality can use the law of contraction by owning a specialist niche or increasing prices. Ultimately, the law of quality dictates that perception is a trump card, and a brand's success can largely depend on how it's perceived by its customers. The importance of brand consistency. Line extensions can damage a brand's reputation and confuse consumers. The law of consistency states that brands should focus on maintaining absolute consistency over time to build brand strength. The development of the U.S. beer industry serves as an example of this. Diversifying the product line doesn't guarantee success and could hurt existing brand awareness. Building a strong brand requires narrowing your focus and resisting the temptation to keep adding new products. The laws of brand expansion. The book explains 3 laws of brand expansion that can help companies grow without diluting their brand. Law 13, the law of sub-brands, emphasizes the need for distinct brand identities, as exemplified by Holiday Inn's failed launch of Holiday Inn Crowne Plaza. Law 14, the law of siblings, suggests that each brand in a family of brands strategy should stand out on its own merits, similar to adult siblings. Time Incorporated's successful launch of Fortune magazine is an example of this. Finally, Law 15, the law of borders, advocates for international growth as a strategy to expand without weakening the original brand. Designing a memorable logo. In this book snippet, the author emphasizes the importance of a great logo and shares 2 crucial laws to follow for its design. Law 16, or the law of shape, highlights the need for horizontal symmetry, while Law 17, or the law of color, emphasizes the use of a contrasting color. The author also encourages the use of clear typography that is unembellished and memorable. Examples of successful logos, like Rolex and John Deere, are used to illustrate these principles. The snippet concludes with a warning about the danger of choosing a color that is already associated with a competitor and the need to establish a unique brand identity through all aspects of design. The power of a brand name. The law of name, generic, and company state that a successful brand name should be short and unique, non-generic, and distinct from the company name. Companies like Xerox, McDonald's, Exxon, Walmart, and Starbucks have compelling brand names that stand out. Taking a word out of its ordinary context can also make a brand distinctive. The relationship between the brand and company name should be kept separate to avoid confusion. A brand name plays a significant role in shaping people's perception of a company, and choosing the right one is essential. When to change your brand. Discover when it's best to make a necessary change in your brand and how to expand it gradually without losing your customers' trust. In business, change is inevitable, but timing is everything, especially when it comes to a company's branding strategy. This is where the 21st law, the law of change, comes into play. Essentially, change is an excellent move when you've got nothing left to lose, and your brand's consistency is taking a hit. One of the ways to do this is by lowering prices, which does not necessarily damage customers' perceptions of quality. For example, Marlboro managed to maintain its prestigious reputation even after lowering prices while also attracting consumers who associate the brand with value for money. The gradual evolution of a brand is also an effective way to establish a new reputation without creating a jarring break in customers' perceptions. An excellent example of this is Citicorp, which started moving from the corporate world to the consumer market in the 1970s, slowly changing to the point that around 70% of its consumers are now located in the consumer sector. However, brands cannot keep evolving forever, and the law of mortality teaches us that brands have a life cycle and will eventually die. The market is continually changing, and older brands often give way to younger, fresher alternatives. When this happens, it's best to cut your losses and create a new brand to avoid a costly and ineffective rearguard battle. A classic example of a failed rearguard battle is Kodak. Even as the digital photography market exploded, Kodak foolishly believed that film photography would remain valid and continued to invest vast sums in creating a new advanced photo system. Unfortunately, the scheme required shops to invest millions in new processing equipment, something that was a tough sell in a market in the middle of a digital revolution. In conclusion, the key takeaway here is that change is good for a brand when done at the right time in the right way. Knowing when to make changes, how best to implement them, and when to cut your losses is critical in today's fast-paced and dynamic business environment. Remember, change is inevitable, and wise business owners must leverage it to their advantage if they wish to survive and thrive.
As we wrap up our exploration of the 22 Immutable Laws of Branding, it is clear that creating and maintaining an exceptional brand requires diligent adherence to these core principles. Maintaining a singular focus, choosing the right name, utilizing publicity, and focusing on a brand's key attributes are just a few of the crucial elements that determine the longevity and success of a brand. From understanding the need to narrow a brand's focus to the inevitability of a brand's mortality, this summary equips you with the essential knowledge required to navigate the dynamic landscape of branding. As these insights are applicable across diverse industries and scenarios, you are now better equipped to comprehend and apply these time-tested principles to establish a powerful and enduring brand.